Welcome back to Talk Time. Today, I want to share something we don't often talk about in leadership: stillness. In a world that celebrates the hustle, the grind, and always being on, the real power often lies in pausing. We call this leading from stillness. And in this episode, we'll explore how intentional rest fuels clarity, creativity, and conviction. If you've ever felt stuck, burnt out, or just unsure of your next move, this message is for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, when we think of leadership, we usually think of action, making decisions, moving forward, and rallying others. But there's another side to that: the pause. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's an intentional space to breathe, reflect, and listen. And in that pause is where the best clarity often shows up. Kari, can you tell us about a moment where you stepped back, maybe during a stressful work situation or personal decision, and clarity came through the pause?
Yeah, Ken, absolutely. I think most recently, this, I was on a brief vacation last week, and our company, whenever we are able to hit or exceed our sales goals, they take us on a trip, which is called the Golden Circle, and
Hmm.
it's usually at some really nice place. And in this instance, it was in beautiful Banff, Canada, and it's about 90 miles outside of Calgary. I'd never heard of Banff before. But when we got there, it was these beautiful, majestic mountains. It was
Nice.
picturesque. It was the lakes are just amazing. And so part of that was it was great for us just to decompress for a little bit, but it was also allowing us to have that opportunity where stillness can come in. And
Mm,
when that happens, it allows for us as leaders to pause, assess, and then also that's where it creates space for deeper insight and intentional action. So I had an opportunity to experience that just last week where we were able to just kind of step back, pause, and be very intentional about it and really allow for some of those ideas and opportunities to really come into your mind and craft some really good opportunities going forward.
yeah, I like that word decompress. That's a word I've
Yeah,
often used when, when I was like in those stressful moments and knew that
sure.
I needed a vacation. I would
Yeah,
always say to my colleagues, like, I am going to step away. I'm going to decompress. Don't call me. Don't email
mm-mm,
me. I'm not
mm-mm,
picking up the phone
mm-mm.
because I need to just get away from the stress of
Absolutely,
everything for a while and reset my mind. And when I come back, I'll come back with some clarity. So I think it's
absolutely.
always important for us to do that, not only as leaders, but just in people in general. Sometimes you just need to step away and decompress from life. So,
Absolutely.
with that said, I know you had some specific points that you kind of wanted to cover today. So, let's go ahead and jump into those.
Yeah, sure. My first point is just a reminder to everybody, and I'm sure most of our viewers realize this, but stillness isn't stagnation. And you talked a little bit about that. So, stillness isn't stagnation, it's strategic. And so, just because we're moving doesn't necessarily mean that we're being productive. And so, what I want folks to just to understand and recognize again is that when leaders are able to pause and create that space, it allows for us to be even more productive on the other side. And so
Yeah.
I really want us to think about how we can better prioritize ourselves rather than just being busy, but taking a moment to pause and embrace that stillness, which will allow us to reprioritize and be even more productive than just being busy.
Yeah, I think stillness sparks creativity. I think we can say that creativity rarely comes when we're rushing. Some of the best
Sure.
ideas often surface in silence during
That's
a
right.
walk or
That's right.
prayer or even just simply sitting still for a little while. When we give ourselves that space, creativity has room to rise. And that's why so many breakthroughs often happen in those quiet moments and not in
That's
the
right.
chaos.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. And my second point is that rest reveals what the hustle hides. And you may say, Kari, what do you mean by that? And so, what I would ask that you all to remember or recall in some of our previous conversations is that when we're able to pause and rest, that's where clarity can emerge. And when we stop chasing, we start listening. And so we've talked a little bit about how important listening is as leaders. It's probably the biggest part of our communication is being able to listen. And so when we're able to pause, rest, and listen, we're becoming more effective leaders and we're able to proceed forward with that feedback that we're receiving,
Yeah.
being more strategic and being able to help and embrace other folks that are following us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because I think that rest fuels that clarity. Intentional rest allows the fog to clear. So when you're tired of pushing nonstop, you can't see the bigger picture. But
Right.
in the pause, I think your mind tends to reset and your spirit
Absolutely.
resets, and
That's right.
suddenly you feel something that was complicated becomes more simple. So
Yes.
I encourage our audience to think about a time when they gained clarity only after stepping away from a situation. Take those small pauses and make sure that you are stepping away to clear your mind.
Absolutely. Agreed. And then the last point I would mention is that conviction is cultivated in quietness. And so this one really just gives me back to the ultimate servant leader in Jesus, right? And so Jesus was famous for seeking isolation when things were on his mind, things that were bothering him. He would get up early in the morning, he would go out, get in some isolation and pray to his father, right? And so
Yeah.
the book of Luke is filled with examples of how Jesus would go and withdraw and retreat to quiet places. And the other part of that is I just love how Jesus loved to take naps. So the other part is,
We all
you
love a
know,
good nap. We all
we
love a good
we
nap.
I love a good nap. I have a nap that I take every day between
Mm,
6:30 and 6:45 in the evening. So the news is
nice.
on after dinner. I take a 15-minute nap. It's just what I need. And so what I want everyone to recognize around that is that stillness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And so if Jesus can take naps and he can go to retreat to quiet places, who are we to argue that and who are we not to use that example? So, one of the things that I would also encourage everybody to do is protect your calendar, schedule those quiet times, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, put them in your calendar, protect them like they're a meeting, protect them like they're sacred. And this is where your best leadership can often take place when you're having those moments where you can isolate and recognize, hey, I need some quiet time for myself, not for anybody else, not for a text, not for a call, not for a meeting. This is for me so that I can feel refocused and regenerated. One last example of that at my place of work, we have these Wednesday meditations. So
Yeah.
a leader took it upon herself to say, hey, listen, I like to meditate. I'm going to offer this to other employees. And she's been doing this for about a year or so. And now we've gotten probably
Mm,
40, 50 people that stay on this call for 10 minutes every Wednesday. And I tell you, Ken, when I join, I don't join all of them, but when I can, I come out of that feeling refreshed, energized, rejuvenated, and even more focused on the things that I've got ahead of me. So if you're able to do something like that, it doesn't have to be meditation per se, but something that allows you to get refocused, allows you to find that central
yeah.
part of your inner being.
Yeah.
And I promise you, you'll be in a better position to be more proactive, be more focused, and be able to lean forward.
Yeah, there is power in the pause. So I think when you slow down long enough to reconnect with your values, your
Yep,
presence changes. So it's
absolutely.
very important to take those moments and
Yep,
pause and take just a minute to breathe.
yep. Agreed.
So here's the takeaway: leadership isn't only about doing more, it's about knowing when to pause. In stillness, you'll find the clarity to decide, the creativity to innovate, and the conviction to lead with presence. If this resonated with you, We would love to hear, how do you create moments of pause in your life? Drop a comment below and let's share some ideas. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might just need a reminder that they need to slow down a little bit. Until next time, remember, the pause isn't weakness, it's power. Khary, I'll let you close us out with your inspirational affirmation.
Thank you, my brother. And again, I want to encourage everybody to lead with love, laugh with grace, and lift someone up today. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one when we talk about those mic drop moments and leading with clarity and conviction. Ciao for now.